Hi everyone, FC.Liverpool, that's what we're talking about. So everything you see about Liverpool, everything you hear about Liverpool, everything. And I need your comments as well. I'll have my little guests on as well, hopefully. I don't know where a couple of them have gone, but I have Daryl Merry on here, and I'm bringing him straight on. Before I bring him on, got to show Red Bird. Have you popped your little pill, Frankie boy? They were popped this morning, to be honest. I'll pop them tonight as well when I go to bed. That's what it is. That's what it's all about, to be honest, Red Bird. And there's Daryl. Evening.
Frank, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, good. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. And I've got another friend of ours. I've got Lee, and there he is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just, are you okay, Lee?
Yes, mate. All good. All good,
And I'm
good.
bringing on a great made up because there's only three of us on tonight. I've got the great George Scott.
No, brilliant.
Love the man. I think everyone loves George. He's like
The lost Shankly boy.
Yeah, the lost Shankly boy. Not only that, him and George Sefton. Everybody loves George Sefton, and everybody loves this fella as well. Got to bring him on. Lovely man. And there he is, the lost Shankly boy himself.
Hey, boys.
Hi,
Hi,
George.
Hi, Darren.
You
Hi,
okay?
Lee. Nice to see you again. I've not been too well the last few weeks.
No.
I've
Health
virus,
more important.
these silly viruses, which
Yeah.
thankfully is cleared up.
Are you
My
okay
wife,
now, though?
both my wife and myself had this virus thing, coughing all the time, not getting much
Yeah.
sleep. But thankfully it's gone now, so I'm back in the land of the living again.
Excellent stuff. Glad it made up that you're on as well, because we did miss you, by the way. We did miss you there.
Sure did, mate.
Thanks, Frank.
What other Liverpool show's got an ex-Liverpool player on it? There isn't one, mate. There isn't one.
No, we're the only ones. We're the only
Well,
ones.
there you are. I'm very pleased.
I was trying to get
That's nice.
through lovely George. I was trying to get Gordon Wallace on, wasn't I, George?
Yeah, unfortunately, Gordon's just had a new knee this week. He's had a knee operation, and he's having another one in June. So both his knees are being replaced. And like Shankly used to say, his walking stick has been sold and healed twice. It's been operated on more than him. And it's still happening.
He's a malingerer. That's what he is. He's a malingerer.
He's a bloody malingerer. I was talking to him yesterday. He sends his regards to you anyway, Frank.
Oh, that's lovely. Lovely man. Lovely man he was. He still is, I'm saying, lovely player as well, Sorry,
Great player, yeah.
Jensen, I'm sorry. But anyway, lads, the certificate's just been given for an extra over 2,000 now, for the new Annie Road stand. So we're going to have a wonderful capacity now, with the games coming up, especially against Man City, which will be in a couple of weeks' time. And what did you think, George? Going straight to you, against Burnley after the defeat, because it tells us something, doesn't it, really, that a good team always bounces back.
Yeah, absolutely. We did bounce back, As far as the stand's concerned, I cast my mind back to when I came to Liverpool when I was only 15 back in 1960, and I look at the stadium then, and I look at the stadium now, and it's just incredible. It's like another planet, it really is. You had the old Anfield Road end, the Cop with the barriers, the little Kemlyn Road side there. You'll remember that, Frank, the opposite end to the main stand. Muddy pitch, and look at it now. It's pitched like a bowling green, 60,000 people in there cheering the boys on. Fantastic atmosphere, it's great. And the boys in the future are going to have a great time. All young lads now going forward, looking at Liverpool playing in that wonderful stadium. Yeah, I thought we did all right on Saturday in the end. It was a bit of a slow start. Still a bit worried about a bit of gaps in the defence, creating opportunities for the opposition. It just worries me a little bit. I can understand why that happened at the weekend. We had a few changes, which threw them a bit at the back, I think. And with Trent having a bad knee and, young Conor Bradley not playing and, Gomez not playing, Andy Robertson just coming back. So it wasn't quite. And, of course, we had a lot of people missing, like Salah as well and Szoboszlai and a few others. So once we get everybody back, which looks like it's starting to happen now, I think Mo's back in training. Szoboszlai is supposed to be good. So fingers crossed.
The Szoboszlai's running, isn't he? So, which is a good thing. But you were talking about the pitch and everything else there. You were talking about the pitch. Going back, I'm only going back now to the likes of the Souness era, right? To the Souness. Could you imagine that team, George? That team. I think it was the greatest team ever, playing on a pitch like this today.
Yeah, it would be fantastic, wouldn't it? The skill they had, the pace they had, the power, the midfield strength, striking strength with Rushy and Dalglish and all them guys, would have been incredible. We've still got an incredible team now, but that team, like you say, was probably one of the best, if not the best we've ever produced.
The best, yeah, ever. Because you only got to look at, say, Bob and what he achieved. The only manager at the time to win 3 European Cups with the same team.
Yeah, incredible.
With the one club. And he was the only manager to do that. And Ferguson tried to emulate him. Couldn't do it. Even if he would have got a third, that would have been a Champions League. Not like a European Cup that you had to be champions of your own country. I'll just go on to these comments if I might, and then I'm going to Darryl and then Lee. Blessings to you, Frank, the great Mr. Scott, Lee of the Flowers, and Mr. Insanity. Redbeard, he carries on by saying, I reckon TV plebs are muffling the Anfield sound because I've heard some say the crowds was loud at the game, yet it ain't on TV. I wouldn't put it past them. That's what he says. That's a good point.
No, I've heard that they do. Someone told me directly online in a comment box that when the Man United game was on Sky, they put the sound equipment in the Man United supporters' end deliberately.
No, you're right. You're so right. Yeah. I'm coming back to that. Just let me finish these comments up because the good ones. Paul Taylor says, even if Frank, Darryl, Lee and George, I hope everything is okay with your wife, George. At the last time I saw you on the channel, you had to go because she wasn't so good. That's lovely, that. Thinking of your wife there, George.
Love you,
thank you very much, George. She had vertigo. She's okay now.
Like you put on Facebook, George.
Shane McGowan. Evening, fellas. Loads of pints. Arthur Schofield. Evening, Frank, George, Lee and Darryl. Glad you're all well and ready to go. We are ready to go. And it's only getting started now. But I'm going to go to you, Lee, after this comment and about the what you said about the crowds and the muffling and putting the mics somewhere, where we're not here, to be honest. And Redbird says, it annoys me. They call Ferguson, say it took him 20 years to win 19 trophies. And say Bob Paisley, 9 years, 19 trophies. Think about that.
Yeah.
Think about that.
Took Alex Ferguson 27 years, which, if I'm correct and my maths is good, and I'm not suffering from an acute case of dyscalculia, which means you can't count, is 3 times as long as Bob Paisley was at Anfield. Yeah. He was at Old Trafford for 3 times as long and won 2 European Cups. End of discussion, please.
Yeah, and that's the sad thing about it, because as you know, George, I'll be going to Darryl on this, but a quick comment on you. Remember the treble. They forget about Fagan, Joe Fagan,
That's
and
right.
winning a
Yeah,
treble.
absolutely.
They just
Yeah, I mean,
that's been
it
obliterated.
was it
Joe
was only the
Fagan and
Heysel
his treble.
Stadium disaster that finished Joe. Really, if that hadn't happened, Joe might well have carried on for quite a long time. You know.
He would have done. He would
Yeah.
have done because the boot room boys were they epitomised, didn't they, the success of Liverpool at the time, and that's the sad
Yeah.
thing. But I'm going over to Darryl. Darryl, what do you think of that about the muffling of the sounds at Anfield?
Oh, what the amazing noise?
Yeah,
Oh, it was fantastic when I watched the highlights on Saturday. The fans were so loud, passionate. It was really nice to hear. That's why I'm trying to get tickets.
try and short you for that. And poor Joe Fagan, as Redbird says, gets no respect. It's outrageous, and it is outrageous. It certainly is outrageous the way, to me, he gets disrespected by pundits all over. And it's only the likes
Yeah.
of us who remind people. What do you think, George?
Yeah, well, Joe was my manager for 4 years. I mean, all the games I played in the Central League, and I was over 120 of them. Joe was my manager in all of them. You know, he was the man that supported me, encouraged me, and even though I wasn't quite breaking into the team, I was nearly breaking in, and he kept telling me to keep going, and my chance would come. He was a wonderful man, Joe. He was a great sort of tactician. Shankly loved him. Bob loved him. They were a great team, the three of them. Like I say, it was only after Heysel, when he got the treble in the Juventus game, that it was so tragic and so sad. I think it just got to him. And he's a very sensitive man, and I don't think he could take any more. And sadly, that was it. That was him for Joe.
Do you know what? I always remember, Frank, sorry for butting in, is what Joe said. What Joe Fagan said the following year. He said, I cried watching them lifting the European Cup because that was our trophy. They were lifting our trophy. He said, I cried watching it. He cried after Heysel, didn't he, when he got off the plane after all that rubbish? He cried then, he cried watching them. I think he said he cried, or he was very sad. Put it that way, he was very sad.
No, he cried. He cried.
Yeah, he cried watching them lift the European Cup in '86.
He never got over it. Never got over it.
Yeah. Because Joe,
you know what? He's a humble man as well. He lived in a semi-detached house down in just off the Priory Road there, all the time. There was no big fancy houses for these guys. They all lived in normal semi-detached houses, paid normal, club houses, but they weren't mansions like they are today. And what a legacy they all left.
He liked to sing,
I seen him once. I went shopping. I was in as the car park. And this, throwing in whatever he was throwing in his car. He'd just been shopping. And I shouted over to him, "All right, Joe." And he went, "Hello, lads, how are you?" And I said, "I'm all right." He said, "You're not a blue, are you?" I said, "No, I'm a big red." And he went, "That's good. You still go to the game?" I said, "Yeah, I still go." I said, "Do you go?" He said, "I'm never out of there," he said. Which is nice. And he always had that smile, didn't he? And that a little peculiar laugh he had.
He called everybody lad.
Yeah. Avuncular is a good word, isn't it? For people like that. You say that about like an uncle that you like, don't you? Avuncular.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah.
But
don't
lad. You think, George, you know better. Don't you think that, going from the Shanks, going to Joe Fagan, going to Bob Paisley. Now, I was going in the paddock one day. Was it the paddock? And I had to go and get my ticket out by the players' entrance. And there's Bob walking down, And I said, "Hello, Mr. Paisley." And he went, in that like very low and methodical voice and accent of his. He said, "Hello, son. How are you?" He said, "Are you going in?" I said, "Yeah, you haven't got a spare ticket, have you?" And he just laughed, he just laughed and patted me on the shoulder, And they're the type of managers that embraced us, including Kenny, by the way, They embraced us. And you never see that, do you, again? Only through Klopp, by the way. Klopp embraces the fans. What do you think, George? Going back to those
Yeah,
days.
well, the other thing, a lot of people don't give Bob the credit for the humour because he had a lot of humour inside him. He come out with some cracking stories. Did I ever tell you the story about Ronnie Whelan when Ronnie Whelan was playing and he made his debut at Anfield and he scored in his debut into the Cup end? And unfortunately, his father, who'd always went to watch him in Ireland, never missed a game. He couldn't be at the game when Ronnie made his debut. And he was really gutted. I mean, Ronnie was ecstatic and he phoned his dad. He said, "I scored, Dad, I scored. My debut, I can't believe it." And his father was really sad. And he said, "You're playing at home again next week, son. I'm going to come over with your three uncles, Billy, Harry, and Bert. We're all going to come over and see you next week. Don't worry. See, can you get tickets off the manager for us?" So Ronnie goes in to see Bob. And he says to Bob, "Bob, Mr. Paisley, any chance of 3 tickets for the game next week?" He says, "Why do you want 3 tickets, lad?" He said, "Oh, my dad and my Uncle Bert, my Uncle Bill, they're all coming over to see me because, we're so disappointed. They missed the goal this weekend," he said. And Bob says, "Don't worry." He said, "You can have 4. You're not bloody playing."
That's not what he said.
Yeah, Ronnie Whelan told me that story, so it must be true.
It's a great way of telling someone you're not playing, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll tell you who used to take off him brilliantly, him and Shankly. Brilliantly was Emlyn Hughes. Emlyn Hughes took the pair of them off brilliantly.
Yeah,
absolutely. You think it was them, the way he said. But let's see what our lads are saying here, and it's Redbirds. I've noticed that if I watch, now this is through this is what I do as well. If I watch the match on a foreign channel, the crowd is louder. Weird. And it is,
there you go.
The crowd is louder. I don't know why. I haven't a clue, to be honest. And there's a big cat. And real football back in the day. If a player today gets breathed on from another, he goes down rolling on the pitch as if he's broke a leg. Wimps.
Yeah.
That's what he says. And Bob, as a dry wit, you're right, George. A lot of people didn't get his humour. I had the honour of meeting Mr. and Mrs. Paisley. Lovely couple. Isn't that nice?
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that
brilliant.
a lovely comment? Lovely comment. That's great, that, to be honest. So listen, boys, go to you, Lee, if you don't mind. I'll put this up quick. Take it down now because George is looking. You've never seen that, George. We did well. It's not about you, by the way. Not about you. Not about you. Not about you. So it's something else. Anyway, Arthur Schofield, when they introduced the golden boot, how come dear Ronnie Moran never got it? He must hold a record as boot boy in the league. Must be, was he? He was a boot boy, wasn't he? In the league. Yeah. But he never gets any sort of credit either. But that was the famous boot room. I'm going to you, Lee. After the game, it's only what I mentioned to George, about a good team always bounces back. And as George said, the first half, we were sluggish. We were sluggish coming out of the traps. What was your take on the second half and the defence?
The defence was poor. I wanted Joe Gomez to play centre-back against Burnley because of his experience, not because I don't rate Jarell Quansah. I do rate Jarell Quansah highly, and he's coming on a bundle, but his inexperience was shown against Burnley, and it showed you where he is in his development right now. Would you agree with me, George, as someone who used to be a defender at Anfield?
Yeah.
Jarell's inexperience showed at times. Okay, we didn't get beat for nothing, but we gave away some ludicrously easy chances to a side that is next to bottom. So,
I agree there because it was any other team or any other player, quality player, those two breakaways, they would have scored.
Yeah.
And it was through Kwanzaa that lad
Yeah.
got through.
He was a bit careless.
Naivety, shall we say. He's
Yeah.
very naive. And he has an all right game, but and he nearly scored as well, which was it would have been an incredible goal, to be honest. But that's the potential the lad has, and he does impress me, by the way. And I think he's great for the future anyway. But I think we've got to get Canete back as soon as possible. And Joe Gomez, by the way, and Joe Gomez. We've got to get him back. I'm going to you, Gerald. Do you think that Trent should be moved into midfield, or going along with Klopp, like playing him at right back?
I think there's no doubt about that. Trent needs to go into midfield now, especially with obviously Bradley now returning, and obviously Trent's out injured anyway. So, but going forward, that's where Trent should be now in midfield. Maybe in like a 2 with Endo, and then Szoboszlai, Curtis. Now you've got so many options there now. It's just exciting to see now what's going to happen with all the boys coming back now. So, and Stefan's back now, so hopefully it should be all right.
Okay. What about you, Lee? Do you think that he should be moved into midfield or played at that back again, as Klopp says?
Who, Trent?
Yes.
I don't want him as a midfielder. If we're going to have wing backs, I'd have him as a wing back. I want him as that inverted. If that's the way we're going to get the title of City, then that's where I want him, as that inverted right back. I don't really want to see him playing in midfield instead of Szoboszlai or McAllister or Jones, because Endo's back now, and I'm hoping that Endo makes the DM his own now with Canate and Van Dijk right behind him and tight as a rock, as a trio, as a triumvirate, and Alisson in goal, Trent, Robbo. Then we got Endo. I'd have McAllister, Szoboszlai, and then take your pick up from. Personally, I'd go Núñez, Jota, and Salah. That's my team for the big games going forward, and it will be for all the big games. That's my best Liverpool team we've got right now.
So go through your team again, from goal. Well, Ali, forget Ali, he's there anyway.
Well, I'll start with Ali. It's Alisson, then it's Trent in his inverted and going back into right back role. It's Canate, Van Dijk, and it's Robbo. In midfield, it's Endo sitting in front of Canate and Van Dijk. It's McAllister left, it's Szoboszlai right, it's Núñez through the middle, and Jota, but they alternate left and central, and Salah is on the right wing. And we've got other players, obviously. We've got 5 subs now. That's my favourite, and I think the strongest Liverpool team that can give us the goods and the title in these decisive games.
George, would you agree with Lee?
Well, I agree with Lee there, except for one player. I would play Jones rather than Szoboszlai. But I mean, Szoboszlai obviously could come on. But I mean, Jones, I think, has been really, really good. Even on Saturday, he went back to right back and played really well. He's a talented player, and I can't see any reason why he should not be in the team. So that would be the only change I would have. I agree with Lee. I mean, Trent gets some stick, but he's got to play. Trent's got to play in our team. I mean, you've got to look at his record. I just read the other day, he's now got the most assists of any defender in Premier League history. I mean, come on. That's unbelievable. So I tend to think that inverted right back suits him. I know he gets stick about his defensive capabilities, but, we've gone with that for quite a long time and we've been very successful. I love Conor Bradley. Probably have to find a place for him as well, but it's an embarrassment of riches, I think, which is good because we've got a lot of young players in the sidelines as well coming through that academy on top of the stars. So we're in a good position, I think, if we can get our team fit. But I agree with Lee. I think that team that he selected there would probably be my team rather than Jones in place of Szoboszlai.
Well, to be honest, I agree with you about Jones because Jones was my man of the match. Because in the first half, I was watching him closely against Burnley. And he was calming everyone down, because there was misplaced passes, there was everything going on. And when he finally took Trent off, he inverted two right back, and he had a blinder. He really had a blinder. He was so calm on the ball. I wouldn't leave Jones out at the present moment, out of our side anyway. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. And this is one of the first names, in my opinion, on the team sheet, Curtis Jones. What about you, Darryl? About Curtis Jones. Would he be one of your?
Yeah, he would be. He'd be in there. It'd be Endo. At this present time, with the injuries, you mean, or my strongest.
Go on.
Mine would be Alice. Obviously, Ali. For me, it'd be Ali, Bradley, Konate, Van Dijk, Gomez back.
That's what say, as you said, George, and you've got a riches of talent, haven't you? Even sitting on the bench, you've got a riches of talent. And there's, Szoboszlai. Szoboszlai's a great player. And Curtis Jones is a great player. And you've got the likes of Harvey Elliott, who, in my opinion, is, and I've said this many times before, that he's better coming off the bench as an impact player. And I proved it every other way when he came on at half time for the second half for Trent. I think that young Elliott is a great player, but I wouldn't start him at every game. What's your take on that, George? About young Elliott becoming better coming off the bench?
Yeah, I agree. I think every single game he's came on off the bench, he's influenced right through the season. Almost every one, maybe bar one, he's came on and changed the game, helped to change the game anyway, with his energy and his commitment and his tireless effort. And he was particularly effective on Saturday because he laid on 2 goals. So yeah, I mean, we've got 16, 17 players there that can swap around, and I don't think we've hardly ever finished with the 11 we started this season. I think every single game we've made changes, and we've only lost 1 this season or 2. I'm not sure. So it's a good policy club's got a lot of people to play around with and change it as per the situation that we find ourselves in, leading or having to hold on or go for the win.
Well, what about Neil Broderick's comments here? Considering we're in prime position in all 4 comps, I was surprised we didn't buy at least 1 player. I know Klopp is leaving, but his record is impressive buying players. The new manager will inherit 20+ players. So what would the difference would 1 or 2 more make, especially with the crop of injuries? What's your take on that, George?
Well, in a sense, it's history, isn't it? We're not going to do it now until the summer. So really, whatever we say, it doesn't make no difference. It's got a good point, but I mean, it depends. I mean, not many clubs spent any money in the spring in the window. Very little money spent because of this financial fair play. They're all up to their eyes in fiddling the money, if you ask me. People like Chelsea and City and others, so they're being very wary. But yeah, we could have signed somebody, but at the end of the day, we didn't. So we just got to get on with the squad we've got now. And I think it's more than good enough to take the title.
Well, Ian McHale says, massive game on Saturday, lads. We need to go to Brentford and fight for those 3 points. Darryl?
Yeah, definitely a true statement on that. I don't think it's going to be as hard as some people make out, to be honest with you. I think the Forest game's going to be the hardest of the away games going forward. I think we go there, we get at them, we score the first goal, they equalise, then we score 2 more. I think we win 3-1 in that game.
What about you, George? What Ian McHale says, massive game on Saturday.
It's a massive game. They're all massive games now, of course, Frank. But I mean, this one's a tough game. Brentford are no pushovers on their own little stadium. They've got a tight ground, and they've got Tony back in the middle there, and they've got a couple of good, nifty players. We will have to be tight at the back, and our forwards will have to be firing. I agree with Darryl. We should win, but I don't think it's going to be a walkover. I think it's going to be quite a tight game, and I think if we get the first goal, I think that'll be very important. Because if they score first, and mind you, they scored first against City, and City beat them quite comfortably. So we should take them. I mean, if we don't beat Brentford, really, in a sense, we can say, well, do we deserve to win the league?
Exactly. On paper, we should. I'm not saying steamroller them. You can't steamroller any Premiership side. But on paper, it is. I'm going to go to Lee. I'm going to go to Lee on these two things here. Let me read out the two comments, Lee. Okay. Redbird says every game is massive from now to the end of the season, to be honest. Lad and Dad says detectors sometimes that backfires with Klopp making too many changes each game, especially how good we played against Chelsea. He should have kept the same team against Arsenal, except Bradley, for obvious reasons. Lee?
I agree.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of making changes for change's sake when you're winning. It depends who the player is. I mean, if Mo Salah's properly fit all of a sudden, then you've got to think about bringing him back in. But you don't bring him back in instantly either. It's not as if we're not scoring goals without Mo Salah. We are, and we're winning games without Mo Salah. But when Mo Salah comes back, Mo Salah's going to come into the team. Yeah, I don't like change for change's sake if we're winning. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see, aren't we, really? I don't want to see too many changes, though.
No.
Can you see me, by the way? Can you see me, lads? Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, because something was happening, you see, with my picture.
Wow, yeah.
And Jason's trying to...
saw like a little pixelated palaver.
Yeah.
You're talking and it's following about a minute later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like that last night on my history show, unfortunately. The head seems to be... Yeah, look, see, I like froze, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Can hear you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's all right, as long as you can hear me. But I really think, what's your take on that, George? Well, Jason tries to fix these things by lads and dads. Sometimes the backfires and Klopp make too many changes each game, especially how good we played against Chelsea. He should have kept the same team against Arsenal.
Excuse my rudeness.
Obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, they say you should never change a winning team, and I agree with that. If your team's winning, why change it unless you have to through an injury? I mean, I was surprised Nunes didn't play at Arsenal, but then again, he had a bad toe or something, didn't he? That was the reason given. I agree with Lee and Dan. I don't think we should change a team if we're winning and playing well. But I mean, obviously, you can change it during the game because that's all comes into the tactics the manager employs. But if we win, there's no reason to change a team unless somebody gets injured. Unless Klopp thinks tactically it's different, whoever you play against,
Well, if you look at Arsenal, they're playing more or less the same team every week, and so does City.
Yeah.
So what is it with Liverpool and not play? Because we annihilated, we really did annihilate Chelsea. And Chelsea were the informed team because we were talking about it, weren't we? The day after.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely ridiculous when he chopped and changed. And, against Arsenal. And I think that gave Arsenal a bit of a boost, to be honest.
Yeah, when Nunes wasn't playing, yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Mind you,
yeah.
That game turned on small margins, didn't it? I mean, that big cock-up between Virgil and Alisson changed the whole game, in my view. We were playing quite well at that point in the second half. and it was such a fortunate mess up, which would never happen once in a blue moon. You probably never see that happen again. I mean, it cost us a game, I think.
No, I think you're right, to be honest. I think you're right, because we were playing well, the second half, obviously. Yeah. And we had more of the ball and whatever, than we did in the first half. And then all of a sudden, the cock-ups.
And then Thiago got injured.
Again. I mean, was it even a surprise to you, George, that Thiago got injured?
No. Well, it was a bit of a surprise. I thought I couldn't believe my ears when I heard that he's injured. Yeah. I mean, he's played 15 minutes this season. He comes on the last 20 minutes and gets injured. I mean, I despair. I think we have to let him go, don't we?
Yeah.
George, I was waiting for it. I knew it, mate. I knew that he'd get injured before he actually got on the pitch in a red shirt. I knew Thiago Alcantara would get an injury in training before he actually got on in a Liverpool shirt. I'm doubtful that we'll ever see him again. I don't think we will now. After this, I'm very doubtful that we're going to see him. And if we do, it will be very, very piecemeal. It will be 15, 20, maybe 30 minutes maximum. I don't think we're going to see a full game out of Thiago Alcantara. Maybe. I wouldn't mind it if he was fit.
Yeah. He's a fantastic footballer.
Well,
when he first came, he was wonderful.
He's a big game player, George. When he does play, he turns up in big games because he wants to boss and show his midfield scheme, and he does. Not every game, but a lot of the time he turns up in the very big games, Thiago, and he always has. He's that type of player because he likes to show what he is. But, man, I don't think we're going to see him again in a Liverpool shirt.
Well, I'd like you to comment on this. It's by lad and Zad. I will be, to the lads out there, the likes of Dean Jason, 97, Neil Broderick, Redbird, and lads and Zads again. I will be using your comments, and I want the lads to comment on Steve Evans as well. Anyway, just let me take this, but that Gravenberch just needs a good loan or something, because he is really lacking confidence, George.
Yeah, he's not playing as a Liverpool player at the moment for me. He's the one player I think that, I want more from. I definitely want more from him. I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, what is he actually doing? I mean, I know he scored one goal with a header. Was against Chelsea he scored, but he's not contributing to the game. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, he's not contributing to the game, Frank. Is he? He's not doing anything that changes the game, or maybe he needs a bit of time. Maybe he does need a loan. Maybe he needs, a new season to start. I don't know. He never seems to have hit the ground running for me. Not like the others.
No, he doesn't. And I'm being honest. I think I'm an honest person. Looking at players, especially our players, and he hasn't done anything for me to convince me for anything, to be honest, as Gravenberch. I don't know whether to send him out on loan. I just don't know. I really don't know. But let me get on to, I think that's it. What about you, Lee? About Gravenberch, and you, Darryl? What about Gravenberch to you?
No, I don't see him as needing a loan, but I do think it'll take till next season before we see anything like any form, if we do, from him. I think we might see bits and bobs until May, but nothing spectacular. I can't see Klopp. I mean, I was going to say Klopp. We're going to have a new manager, aren't we, soon? I can't see the new manager wanting to loan him out straight away. The new manager will obviously want to look at him because he is a name player. He's got a name, but he's also got a bit of a name for being difficult or moving on. So we shall see what we shall see where he's concerned.
All right, so I'll go to Darryl on that about Gravenberch.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Frank, I'm I'm not so convinced on Gravenberch. I think you'll see, obviously, when a new manager comes in, he's going to be tough, and whoever it is going to be tough on the players, especially the likes of Gravenberch and Gakpo and people who are still going to be there with their contracts. But I don't think he's got much time. I think he's on borrowed time, if you ask me.
Well, look at this comments here. Now, I've been watching, it's only on YouTube, I've got to be honest. But I've been watching young Carvalho playing for Hull. And lad and dad says needs a good run somewhere like Carvalho is now at Hull playing regular. And that's what he does need regular play. But has anybody, George, have you seen young Carvalho playing for Hull? Have you seen any?
Only a couple of times for Hull City, but I think I seen him score a pretty good goal a few weeks ago. Yeah. So I think he's doing quite well there. I mean, these lads tend to do quite well out on loan. I mean, Harvey Elliott did well at Blackburn, didn't he? And Tyler Morton's done well as well. So it's a good thing.
But also
yeah, the trouble is now, of course, not like in my day when you had the Central League and you could play these big stadiums and play big competitive games. If you're not in the first team, you're playing under 18s and, you're playing at the Kirby Academy and there's no atmosphere. So it's best to go out and play first team football if you're not getting a game at Liverpool and you're a bit young and you've got a bit of developing to do. So Gravenberch doesn't come into that category. He's an international player, isn't he? He's an established player. Come from So he really should not be in a position where he has to go on loan. He should be performing.
No, not when you bought him from Bayern Munich and he's a well-established Dutch international.
Well, see, Jason 97 says, I would like the game to be LFC having 20 shots at goal, 1 on target, 1 goal, and keeping a clean sheet. That would feel very satisfying. 20 shots on goal and keeping a clean sheet. We can't keep a clean sheet, unfortunately, which is.
I'm dying for some clean sheets. I'm literally desperate for us to achieve some clean sheets sometime soon. And I'm hoping Endo, Kanate and Van Dijk together can sort it out. And whoever's in the 8 can sort it out. And we can start to be tighter at the back. Because if we're going to win the Prem, we've got to be tighter at the back. We will not win it giving up chances like we gave up in the first half to Burnley, when Fofana and Odobert ran straight through on our goal at Anfield, the second to bottom, mate. Yeah, any Premier League team can create chances against you, but that was Burnley, mate. And they just walked straight through us. Like a knife through the button about 3 times.
Yeah. But,
imagine what Man City would do. Imagine if it was Man City and not Burnley.
Did marmalade.
Phil Foden would have put that in the back of the net.
That's what I was saying before about young Kwanzaa. He was at fault for those 2 breakaways. And, a quality player would have just buried them. You say, look, I'm not having a go at Kwanzaa because, he's always impressed me, the lad. And I think he's brilliant. He's one for our future. We know this. He's a big lad. He's a big, strong lad. But those 2 frailties, and I think he'll iron them out anyway. I think the backroom staff are lining us out for him. So, here's Neil Broderick. I think there's more FFP rules that meets the eyes. Really strange, no money spent in the last window. Surely our accountant knows what the money we can spend without breaking the rules, George. Every game now is a cup final. We will pick up more injuries. That's what he's saying. And we need reinforcements. We've said that all along, though, haven't we? Because no matter how good Endo's doing, I've always said we need a DM. And someone's turned around and said that he won't be playing with a DM next season if the other fella comes in, Xabi Alonso. I can't see that. You do need a strong defensive midfielder. We've always had a strong defensive midfielder, and Xabi knows that. Xabi, because he had Didier Man behind him, he had Mascherano behind. And when you have the likes of those two, protecting the defence and feeding the forwards as well and breaking forwards, absolutely brilliant. So,
yeah.
Have you heard anything about Xavi, by the way, George?
No, but I mean, all the noises that you hear coming out from Bayer Leverkusen is you hear the chairman there saying, "Oh, he thinks he'll stay with them," but I don't think so. I think if Liverpool come calling, he'll come. His heart's in Liverpool. Everything I read and hear, some of the previous interviews he's given as well. I might be wrong. It's only my opinion, but I can't see if Liverpool come along, he'll turn us down. I'll be very surprised, really. Where else can he go?
Well,
Is that Real Madrid?
Exactly. I think you're right there. I'll tell you why I think you're right.
What an opportunity he's got. Klopp's going to leave him a fantastic squad. A lot of young players coming through the academy. And, obviously Jurgen leaving is a real disappointment for us. That's putting it mildly. Because I thought when I heard he was going to disrupt the team. And we would struggle a bit. But it didn't seem to have happened. They seemed to have got behind it and determined to make him go out with a bang. And I think they will do that. They'll work their socks off to try and get him to win some of these trophies, if not all of them. But, his time will then be up and we're faced with a whole new ball game, new coaching staff, new manager. Who knows what will happen? So we'll just have to be fingers crossed it is Xabi, because he's the best man out there. Can't see anybody else that touches him at the moment with his record.
And he's just come to Anfield, by the way. I remember him playing for Real Madrid and Bayern themselves, and he was coming over. And one of the lads asked him, "What are you doing here?" He said, "I'm a Liverpool supporter." And that's all he said. And he is a Liverpool supporter, and he goes the game. Now, if that opportunity, he'll know that it's an opportunity. He'll know that it's an opportunity. Yeah. He's approached. Would you like the Liverpool job? Now he's got either one or two things. Either take it like that, and if he doesn't take it and decides to stay like their chairman says or whatever for another year, and he only said, he thinks he might stay. Thinks and might. That's not like saying he's staying for another year. He thinks and might, if you know what I mean, right? Might stay the year, another year there. He's got that opportunity to come to Liverpool, knowing that if he doesn't take it, they're going to get someone else in, another top manager, and he knows this. So therefore, what would you do? Would you say, okay, I want to come to Liverpool? You would. Because he's Liverpool through and through, Lee.
He is. He's Liverpool through and through. And the way I put it is, I think he'd be better cutting his teeth at Liverpool if he wants to go on into the Madrid job later in his management career, because Spanish managers haven't done very well at Real Madrid recently. Look at all the Spanish managers who've managed Real Madrid in recent years. They've performed badly and been sacked quickly. So I don't think Xabi would take that job on this quickly, because he knows that he could be out in that job within 3 months if he gets a couple of bad results, mate. You know what I mean? He's better off coming to Anfield and having seasons here. And then if he wants to go on to Real Madrid later in his career, then he can do it, can't he?
Yeah, he certainly can. He certainly can. And he know that the fans, we fans will give him time as well. We'll give him time, if you know what I mean. It won't be like, jumping in and going, get rid of him. Because people love Xabi Alonso. They've always loved him. And I think he'll do a fantastic job. And as you said, George, he's, he's more or less made for Liverpool. He's one of us.
Our friend Marius wrote that book, didn't he, about Klopp being the perfect fit for Liverpool. Well, who's a perfect fit now for Liverpool? It's got to be Xabi Alonso. The supporters love him. He's got a history of playing for the club, won the Champions League with the club, played in a great Liverpool team. He loves Liverpool. He's a supporter. It couldn't be better.
I said exactly what you said about what Marius put. I put up his book as well, The Perfect Fit. And I said Xabi Alonso will be the perfect fit also. And Marius will have to start getting his typewriter out again.
Xabi spent 5 years here. Xabi spent 5 years here, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Xabi spent 5 years here from 2004 to 2009. That's half a decade he spent in the city living here. I think a couple of his children were born in Liverpool, if I'm right in saying. That never hurts. Benitez is always like coming back. They tend to like the city, don't they? Don't know if they like the weather, but the Spanish tend to like the city, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's our JK as well. Our JK's with us, lads.
Evening, guys.
Hi, JK.
How you doing, George? I hope your wife... Hey, Darrell, how you doing, bro? I hope your wife is well, George.
Yeah, doing good. Thanks very much.
Not lovely. Listen there, JK, I'm going to you with this. Look at this comment. Right, and it's happens that I'm hoping Mata gets a 1-year contract. He has played well this season, I think, up until his injury, JK.
Me personally, I think personally, I think Matip's time is going to end when Klopp goes as well. I think I'm not sure if he's going to go anyway, even if he stayed injury free. But I was just thinking this was his last season at the club for me.
Yeah. Darrell?
Yeah.
Would you give him another year?
No, I think he'll be leaving. He's had 8 years at Liverpool. He's played. We got him for free. We've had 8 great years from him. Time to bring him some young blood centre half in now.
Okay, Lee.
Yeah, I think his time's done now. He was a great servant, free transfer, but like I said on Thursday's show, we could have done with him in 2020 when Van Dijk and Gomez were out for the full season and Matip started 6 out of 38 Premier League games. He finished 3 of the 6 he started, coming off twice after 60 minutes and once at half time. We really needed him that season, and the guy is prone to injuries. So now that he's the age he is and his contract's run out, let's buy a new centre half, yeah?
Well, do you know what? Before I go to you, George, I was going to say that even before, it was only the last couple of seasons that he's been playing well. Because before then, he was out injured all the time. I remember the lads calling him Weetabix legs. And there's Steve Evans. George, what do you think? Would you give him another contract?
I tend to go along with the lads. I think, he's had 8 good years. He's been a good servant to Liverpool. I do like Matip. I think I used to like watching him coming forward from the back and making things happen when he was fit. Trouble is, he hasn't been fit enough. He's another one like Thiago, not obviously nothing like as bad as Thiago or Keita, but he's out a lot. He's been out a lot, really. And his biggest contribution this season has been scoring the own goal against Spurs.
Well, there's Steve Evans, and he says time to let Weetabix legs go. Now, I think he's talking about the other fella, Thiago. And, people are saying, we've got, give Thiago. If Xabi comes in, Thiago's gone, and so is Matip. That's in my opinion.
Yeah,
that's
I agree,
in my opinion. And as Redbird says, Matip's time is done. He needs to leave, in my opinion. And Lads and Dad says, I thought LFC would have let Klopp make one last big signing in January to see us off. But maybe they want to keep the funds for the new manager. That's what he says. It's a good point, actually. And If your manager says he's leaving, no owner is going to give you money to spend. In my opinion, FSG were right on this occasion, and he carries on by saying Gravenberch seems to be a bit on the lazy side for me, and that's what he says when we were talking about this. And Steve Evans, let me go through some of these, please. Steve Evans, Tyler Morton having a boss run of games and performing well at Hull. That's what Steve says. And Vase of Flowers wants Connor Bradley back, bro. There you go. There you go. And lads and dads, True Redbird and Drunk Vigo. Excuse me, boys. I don't know what's wrong with me thing here. I just don't know. And he says, and I'm going to go straight to you on this, George. Go straight to you. Enzo will tighten things up, George.
Yeah, I like Endo. Again, you go back when he signed, everybody was laughing at him. Oh, why we signing this Japanese guy or whatever it was we paid for him? But, he's proved to be a big success for me. I mean, I'm not seeing him really have a bad game yet since he's been playing. He's a little tiger, and he's a good passer of the ball. And he does really put the effort in. I mean, I thought he was good again at the weekend. And, I think he's proved himself, captain of Japan, I mean, and, the hardy little bugger, them Japanese, they can run forever, and he's one of them. He never stops. So I like Endo. I think he's part of the midfield now.
Yeah, he is. He is. And what about you, JK? Would you, would you go along with that? Enzo will tighten things up.
What I like about Endo is his positioning. He's not the fastest guy in the world, but all in all, he's very good at reading the game and positioning himself and where danger can come from. So he knows that he's been playing football for a long time. He's captain of Japan. So, and in Stuttgart, my friends were saying he was like one of their favourite players. So he's done something that needed to be done. But I think maybe next season or the season after, we'll get someone maybe who's better than him. But for now, he's doing a job. So you can't get on the guy's back.
Yeah. Do you think, I'm going to come to you now, same to you there, Darryl, about Enzo. Do you think he's, or he will tighten things up?
To be honest with you, Frank, since he went to the Asia Cup, I was praying for his return, to be honest with you, because obviously you know how I think of McAllister, and don't get me wrong, he's been playing fantastic in that DM, but I wanted to see McAllister play more further forward, as he scored 10 goals for Brighton last season, as it was. But I just think Endo is fantastic. The way his position is fantastic. The way he sees the game, reads the game, and I think he was money well spent. Really, really well spent.
I mean, he was only 16 million or something.
Yeah.
Something daft
Steal.
Right, Enzo.
Yeah, I think he will tighten things up. Without a doubt, you could see before he left for the Asia Cup that we become tighter in midfield. JK made a salient point there about his positioning. It's what that position in the team is about: positioning, getting yourself in position for danger and anticipating danger. And Endo does it well, and he'll get better at doing it in the Premier League. Like JK, you said some of your mates out there in Germany are Stuttgart fans and went regularly with season tickets, yeah?
Yeah. There was like, as soon as we knew we were going to buy him, I gave him a call. I said, bro, tell us about this guy. He's like fans' favourite. So that means he must put a shift in. So I was just happy with that.
And he got player of the season at Stuttgart before he left, yeah?
Okay, yeah, before he left, he was player of the season.
There you go, yeah.
I'm going straight to you, George, on this. And it's Richard Hutchinson. We need to improve so much in the first half in every game. Defensive play. Stop making mistakes and errors. Take out chances. Control the game and score more goals. That's what he says, George.
Well, that's a perfect scenario, isn't it, to do all the things he says? If we do that every game, we'll win the league. But yeah, I mean, I agree. We've been slow starters this year. A lot of games we've finished 1-0 down, and we've came back. We've had to fight back to win the games. Quite a lot of them actually this season. And if you score first with Liverpool, you should have a chance of not being beaten because we've got such a strength to keep going forward. But if you lose a goal and the other team pack the defence, it gets a bit more difficult to break. I was a bit worried about the weekend until Diaz got that goal. I thought it's going to be a big, long second half with Burnley all back in defence and us trying to get the goals. And it just makes you sweat, doesn't it? As a Liverpool fan, you're never quite sure whether we're going to, get in there and win it in the end. We always normally do anyway. But I mean, I think we've got to tighten up in the first half and the early part of the game. I agree entirely.
What about you, Lee?
Yeah, we need our injured players back, exactly as George said.
Yeah.
We need them back as quickly as possible because Cities are all back. So we need ours back so we can challenge them. So the sooner they come back, Szoboszlai and Salah are the main ones now, aren't they? Who else are we waiting on? There's Bajcetic that I like, but he probably won't play this season. Thiago, let's forget about. Who else has got to come back?
Well, Gomez has got an injury.
Okay. Yeah. No, there's others, isn't there? We've still got others. Who else is still injured? Apart from Salah and Szoboszlai, there's others.
No, Tsimikas is back now as well, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yes, they're all back. Most of them are back.
Yeah,
Gomez is back. Gomez is back.
Oh, mate, Szoboszlai getting injured in training or whatever it was did me head in because we needed him for this run coming now. We could have done with him at Arsenal. We looked rubbish in midfield at Arsenal, I thought. That's why we lost the game against Arsenal in the midfield. Straight away from the off, they were all over us in midfield and we just could not counter it.
Well, if you go back to that other comment, against Chelsea, and the comment said, why didn't he keep the same team that destroyed Chelsea? And I remember the Chelsea game, we were out of the blocks and we went right at them and destroyed them.
Yeah.
And yet, even against Burnley, we were sluggish. And I couldn't believe how sluggish we were.
Yeah.
Until Klopp got into the dressing room at half time and said, listen, lads, you'll have to book your ideas up because we were sluggish. And at least our three forwards scored.
Yes.
And Ian McKay says, can we have Steve McMahon out of retirement, Frank? He was a great central midfielder for us, and he was.
Brilliant.
He was.
Yeah. Fabulous.
Definitely was. And Redbird says, one thing I'm sure of is the new manager and medical team, our injury list will be shorter. And I think you summed it up there, Lee, when you said about Szoboszlai, getting injured training.
Yeah, he shouldn't get
injured. He never got
training.
injured playing football. He got injured training. And that's it. And how about this? Again, I'll start with you, George. On another note, I'm Muslim Spren will be able to manage the LFC Legends game. So happy we could get that over the line. That's a lovely gesture, isn't it, George?
Yeah, I think that's tremendous. It really sums up Liverpool as a club and Klopp as a manager. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful gesture. I mean, Sven's a Liverpool fan. I never even knew that, when he was managing England, that he was a Liverpool fan. Like a lot of these people are Liverpool fans, to be honest, Wonderful, really. I think it will be a great day for him, and everybody at the club. So good luck to Sven. Everybody's thoughts are with him, all Liverpool fans. It's going through an awful experience. So it'll be a wonderful day for him, and I'm really pleased. Yes, brilliant.
Well, what about this, JK? Redbird, and he says, excuse me, he says, Alonso is a red, we need him to come home. And this is what we were talking about before, about Alonso. And is there any, updates or whatever? Well, I was told that, that he definitely coming. I was told that today, this morning, I was told that by some certain individual. He said he's definitely coming. So, what do you reckon, Alonso? We need him now.
I think if you're going to pick a manager in 2024, there's not really a lot of managers you can choose from. So for me, he just suits the job. He's professional. He loves football. He played for the top teams. So the only worry I have is, imagine he comes straight in, he wins the league title, he wins the Champions League, then he wins another Champions League. How quick will it take for him to go to Real Madrid? He won't stay as long as Klopp if he comes in. That's what I think. That's the only worry I have with him. Personality-wise, I like the guy from Tottenham. I've said it since as soon as I knew Klopp was going, I was thinking, which guy can fit Klopp's personality? And I think it's that guy from Tottenham. He sports Liverpool. He's a big-framed guy, and I don't think nothing get past him. He's got that sort of personality, He's a bit smart and tough. And I think he's sort of perfect for Liverpool as well. So for me, out of them two guys, I'll be happy with.
Really? That yeah, from Tottenham, yeah?
No, I think he's got class.
Did you say?
Can you say that again, Frank?
Didn't know that. I didn't even know that, to be honest.
Oh, mate.
And this is Hutchinson says here, which is, I think, is a very good point. Liverpool needs to invest into the academy youth setup and scouts players. I think we've already done that, really, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think we've
you can see the result
done that. But he carries on by saying, is Xabi Alonso nailed on to be Liverpool next manager? Same gossip like Bellingham, Mbappe, Andre, Lavia and Caicedo, rumours again. And he's right, because we're fed up with, especially with those players he mentioned, Bellingham. I'm fed up hearing that Mbappe's name. He's never going to come to Liverpool, ever. And people keep going on, and people keep believing it. Oh, yeah, he's coming. I heard that he's going. He's not going
chance of me going back.
Say? What's he say?
There's more chance of me going back.
I'm me walking straight again, yeah. Oh, blimey.
More chance of me losing 10 stone.
I'll tell you one thing, Frank, about Xabi coming over. You got to remember he's still in the hunt for the Bundesliga title. So they won't want anything to be messed up over there between now and the end of the season. If you start announcing him as coming to Liverpool, how's that going to affect their chances of winning that league? The other good thing I thought is he's got a fantastic team there, and he could bring a few of them players over here to be quite nice.
Well, Steve Evans there. Go on.
I've got some news.
Go on.
Just had a notification come through from on my phone. Liverpool looking at Newcastle Sporting Director Mike Ashworth.
Don't want him. It sounds a bit like Mike Ashley. Don't want him.
They're talking to him as well.
Sounds too much like Mike Ashley. Don't want him. Ashworth, Ashley. There's a difference, but I still don't want him now. Go away. I don't want you.
We're talking to him and Mike Steen.
They're not doing too well at Newcastle at the moment, are they?
No,
about 20
not
behind
at
us.
all. Not at all.
Despite all the money. Despite all the money they've got.
Do you know what? Again, Steve Evans says, I hope Xabi brings in Cappy in with him. We'd all love that, to be on. And that Wirtz lad, I think he's brilliant as well. But the point is, no matter, come the end of the season, we appoint Xabi. Let's just be, let's say we're appointing him. He's going to want money. FSG will not give him money. We know that. So the thing is, he's going to sell players. And the most money he gets for the players he gets rid of or, is coerced into leaving you're going to get Mo Salah leaving. You might even get Virgil leaving. You never know. You never know. And Trent, because Real Madrid really like Trent, don't they? They really like him. And, he could be sold to invest in players instead of FSG, getting rid of the likes of, all right, they're on free transfers, the likes of Thiago and Matip, just get shut and bring in, with, the money that we should have without selling players, and bring in a couple of new players, which we need.
Yep.
Which we do. Who do you think, Lee, we really need? What kind of position do we need? For next season, I'm talking about. Can't be this season.
Definitely needs a centre half. And if they could be a left-footed one, I'd be really pleased. Hang on a sec. Just fix that volume. A left-footed one, I'd be really pleased. Possibly another midfielder. Possibly. We don't need an awful lot. And then maybe a replacement for Salah if he wishes to leave. Now the Klopp's departing. If Mo wants to go and we can get the money. See, the thing about our players leaving, like Trent leaving, Virgil leaving, where they going, mate? Who's paying? Where are they going? Can you tell me where they're going and who wants them? I'd love to know, because I don't know yet. It's just people making mischief as far as I'm concerned, George. Do you think so?
I agree 100%. Can you imagine Trent's a Scouser? Trent's a Scouser. He was born and bred here. He's come through the academy since he was 9. He's in the prime of his career. He's a fantastic player, playing for one of the best, if not the best club in the world. Like you say, Lee, where's he going to go? They can't all go to bloody Real Madrid. I mean, and who wants to go over there anyway if you're a Scouser and you're happy here? Look at Stevie Gerrard. He's going to Al Ettifaq or somebody, whoever they are. And look at Henderson. He's gone to the Arabs. Now he's in Ajax. I mean, everybody has left Liverpool. We've said this before, Frank. Everybody has left Liverpool. Only Suarez has done anything.
Yeah. The thing with Trent is he's a local lad. He's vice captain and he's one of the faces of the squad and one of the voices of the squad. Why are we going to sell him? Why would the new manager come in and go, don't want that?
No, I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying that, Lee. I'm not saying the new manager.
I know, mate. I know.
You know what I mean, don't you?
The rumour mill's gone into overdrive, and Frank, and it's silly season. It's like Virgil's leaving, Trent's leaving. Who else have we heard? Diaz is leaving. Joe Gomez might leave. Why would Joe Gomez leave? Because he might. It's like, where's he going to go? Where's he leaving to? Which door is he departing from? And which
I think, Frank, if Alonso comes in the negotiation for the job, he needs to lay his cards on the table and say, look, if I take this job, this is the money I need to spend. And then FSG will have to make a choice whether they're prepared to give it. I know your opinion probably is that they won't, and I probably agree with you, unless they sell somebody. But who can they sell except Salah and Thiago?
Well, let me just go on to this, because I think this sums up everything. After this comment, I'll go to another comment. And this is also, we need a left centre back, a right winger in the summer. But if we get a new manager, it might change the system, style of play, and new players coming into the team. And that's absolutely right. Now, what he's saying about a left-sided centre-back, a number 6 and a right winger. That's what he's saying that we need now. But it could change the system if a new manager comes in and he's spot on. And Redbird says, I'll go straight to you, George. Sorry to put that on. Rumours are Saudi's offering 225 million for Salah and give him £1 million a week. If true, do you reckon Salah will go, George?
No, I don't think so. I might be naive. I might be wrong. It's only my opinion. I don't think he'll go. Why would Salah go and play in the Saudi league in front of about 10 people in the Farmers League, if you like? a world-class player, one of the top 3 players in the world. And they've been there, they're all leaving. Messi's gone. There's very few now still there that went.
I think Ronaldo's about to leave as well, isn't he?
Yeah, and he's been the only one that's drawn any crowds, his team. So it's a rubbish league. The sports washing, I don't like it. Mo Salah loves Liverpool. I think we'll get at least another year out of him. I think he's signed another contract. It's up to then again, FSG. FSG could be turning around and saying, look, we'll sell him. We'll sell him to get the money, because if we wait the end of the season, we'll get nothing. That's what worries me, Frank.
That's what
George, you make me laugh, mate, with your Scottish accent. It's a rubbish league.
That's what I was saying before about the
manager. Hey, George, the Scottish in my family, McDonald was the name.
Thanks, give it up.
McDonald was the name in our family. Sorry to do that, Frank.
Frank's got to get up.
Stay there, Frank.
Believe it. That's what I was meaning. That's what I meant before about Trent. It's not up to the likes of the manager who say, I want Trent gone. The owners will be looking to see how much he's worth. And he'll be worth good money. And I'm telling you that if Real Madrid come in for him and they offer like around 80 million, they'd sell him. They'd sell the manager, sell him. So it's not up to the manager, it's up to the owners. It's as simple as that. But anyway, that's just me.
Yeah, the owners need a successful team, don't they? Without a successful team, the owners will be gone, one way or another. They'll have to, I mean, it's a team that counts, not the stadium. The stadium is wonderful, it's fantastic. But if you haven't got a team to match the stadium, look at United at the moment. They've been struggling for. Look at the trouble they're in with the. What do you call them boys in America? They made a right mess of that club, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, you've only got to look at. I'll go to you in a minute, JK. You've only got to look at the likes of what Manchester United are going through, and they've brought in ever since David Moyes. Remember, he took over, and they haven't done anything since. And every manager that comes in, this Ten Hag, people are wanting them out. People are wanting him out. And they're looking at Liverpool saying, look at him, look at Klopp, look what he's done for Liverpool. You know what I mean? I think they're delighted that Klopp is actually leaving. JK, what do you think the rumours, I'm just going back to you on these rumours. Rumours are Saudi's offering 225 mil for Salah and give him £1 million a week. If through, do you reckon Salah will go? And again, George, it's not. This is just me before I get to you, JK. It's the owners. If they see that amount of money, they'll just say sell him. All right, JK.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think you knocked the nail on the head, Frank, when you said they'll use that transfer money, what they make from Salah, and give it to the new manager. It's just right up their street, And I think a year down the line, would they give us the same figures that they're talking about now? Maybe a little bit less, maybe 150 million. You don't know. But I think since the last 2 months or so, ever since Salah went to the AFCON, a lot of opposition fans and football shows have been talking about how to dismantle Liverpool. We're top of the league, have been for a long time. And they're always trying to find little ways to get at the club. I think like the Conor Bradley and the Trent Alexander debate and stuff. We've got 2 top right backs. We don't need to talk about that debate. We don't need to who's better and this, that, and the other. Klopp will play who he thinks fit for that game, And I think the Salah rumours, they were here last year as well. So he didn't go. He ended up staying. So I think maybe Salah wants to try something new with Liverpool and go with the new manager, work with him together. We don't know yet. So, but personally, I don't mind how long Salah stays with us. The guy's consistent, He has been ever since he got with us. So all good. Yep.
Lee, what's
Frank, they can't force Salah to go, Frank. Frank, they can't force Salah to go. If Mo wants to stay, they can't force him to go. He might want to stay for a year and go for nothing. You make more money then.
Yeah. No, it's so right, they can't force him. But what do you think, Lee? Will Salah go if he's offered 1 million a week? Also, they're offering the club 225 million for him.
Well, I don't see them offering 225 million for a person that's his age. That's a nonsense. But I think it's up to Mo. If he wants to go, he'll go. If he wants to stay and have a dip at the Champions League, then he'll stay. I mean, if we win the league, why wouldn't he stay? And I do want him to stay, by the way, for his final year. But I'll also be more than happy for him to leave and us to get a sizable fee and use it to rebuild the squad. So I'll be happy either way, Frank. I'll be happy if he leaves and we use the money to rebuild the squad. And I'll be happy if he stays and we have a dip at the Champions League with him spearheading the attack. It's a win-win, mate. It's a win-win.
Yeah, true.
Well, after Schofield, and I was on some pod, just looked, and I went off after about 30 seconds with the garbage that came out. And Arthur says the most recent comments going round is due to changes being made by ruling bodies. LFC are getting a large input, get onto this, of 267 million. Not sure if there is any truth in this. I don't know. Yeah, but it won't be going on the pitch. It might be going into shareholders' pockets, because that's absolutely crazy. And I was listening to someone today for 30 seconds. Oh, look at all this money coming in every year. Do you ever remember every year Klopp was getting a war chest, and Klopp never got a war chest? Every
mythological war chest.
Paper talk
all the time, and these stupid rumours, and it really did.
I think Klopp might have been tired of doing that. He looks exhausted. Pep Guardiola never looks exhausted unless he's playing Liverpool. But Klopp looked exhausted, like last year. Look what happened. The fans got at him. And I think he was thinking, look, I'm working on a shoestring here. I'm not Pep Guardiola Man City, where I got £250 million spent on a defence. I've got a £7 million, £8 million left back, right back who come from the youth system. So I think Klopp might be tired of just doing that day in, day out, struggling to get a squad good enough to win the league. And the fans went against him. They didn't go against the owners and say, oh, they didn't give him the war chest that they were promised every season.
Yeah, you're so right there. And I'll just go a couple of comments here. Drum Vigo says Enzo knows that this is probably his only season, at Liverpool. And lads and dads, yes, I'd sell him. Maybe not this summer, but if we get the same offer next summer, sell him. And we could use that money like we did with the Coutinho money and invest big time. And he carries on by saying, lads and dads, that is Ben Doak has to come back too. I just hope Ben is, because he's a cracking kid, he's a great little footballer. But the point is, I just hope he's not like Betetich. You know what I mean? Getting injured, and he's taking his time. I don't know what kind of injury he has, the lad, if you know what I mean.
It was his knee.
It was said that an earlier stream that the new manager will have 400. I'll believe it when I see it, says Red Bear. That's what I mean. The rumours are already starting about war chest. 425 million. They'll buy you a country in the somewhere there, a little island. Anyway, I don't know. I really don't about these bloody rumours, and I hate rumours.
I do.
Yeah, look, Bonkers LFC. What if Salah goes because of Klopp going? And no one's ever brought that up.
Well, I'm worried about that.
Yeah. because he loves
I'd like
Klopp.
to see him stay. Sorry,
What
Frank.
do you think, George? You know, with Klopp
What's that?
leaving, and that's the first, you know, and Lee said, didn't he? You know, that's worrying. And Bonkers, you know, first fella to come out and say, what if Salah goes because Klopp's going? What do
Yes,
you
I mean,
think?
like I said earlier on, any manager leaving causes unrest. I don't care who they are. Even the clubs I was at, my level, the manager, there was rumours of the manager being sacked. Everybody entrenches their position. All the players start thinking, will the new manager like me? Will he not like me? Will I fit into his system? I've loved Jurgen Klopp. He's been like a father figure for me. I've played with him all these 7, 8 years now. He's not going to be there. Javi's going to bring, or the new manager's going to bring his own staff, his own coaching staff. Will it fit in with them? It's bound to cause unrest. I'm quite surprised it hasn't caused more unrest at the moment. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes, of course. You know, we might find out a bit more. You see, they've got this network thing going now as well, haven't they? Where they're filming everything and making this documentary. They started back in December, filming, and they're filming at the moment. So a lot's going to come out, I suppose, on that, you know, and I don't think Klopp was too happy about that, was he?
No.
He expressed some worries about that being, and it's funny, he resigned and he told them he was leaving in November, and this network thing started in December.
What about you, Darryl? You know, what will be your take on that?
Well, as George just said,
Because Klopp going, that is, you know, could Mo Salah follow him? That's all.
I think there's a number of reasons, but I think we don't know, obviously, because we're all clutching at straws to know what's going on. But my personal view is I think that, as Klopp said, if Liverpool ever do a documentary, he said he's gone. He said he'll leave. He said that's what would happen. And also on Salah, Trent, Virgil van Dijk, have the owners said he's not offering a new deal? Is that the reason why Klopp's walked? We don't know.
Well, you know, I think he wanted Andre, didn't he? He wanted Bellingham. He wanted Tuchmani. He wanted Andre, and these are the players that he couldn't get that would transform Liverpool, to be honest. And we'd have one of the best DMs in Andre if he was playing for us now. You know, everyone's made up with Enzo, but that lad Andre, he's the right age, 22, 23, brilliant, like Javier Mascherano, in my opinion. I've seen him. Okay, I'll go straight to you, I'm afraid, George. Okay, you always have the first shot. Right, and it's Brian. And Brian Edley, that is. Good evening, lads. How are you all? I would take that money if it was true. Salah can't go on forever either. The lads up front now are showing there is more movement and less predictability. George?
Well, like I said before, you know, I think Salah is a fantastic footballer, and his whole thing is about football and quality of football and his fitness. And it doesn't seem to me his main motivation is money. I mean, I know he's got enough money to last him for the rest of his life 10 times over. So I can't understand why he would want to go to Saudi Arabia. If he was going to go to somewhere like Madrid or Barcelona for a couple of years, or even PSG, maybe. But I don't understand why he would want to go this season. It could be if Klopp leaves, he might feel unsettled. I don't know. But, you know, I see why he should do, because Alonso is a perfect fit for Liverpool. And he'll try and keep it going exactly as it is at the moment, I would imagine, in terms of the squad. But, you know, Salah's a fantastic player. I don't want to see him go. Like Lee, if he goes, and we'll get the money to reinvest in the club and in the team. Well, if he doesn't go, I'd love to see him go lead the team forward to Champions League next year. And at the end of next year, his contract's up anyway. So if he wants to leave, he can tell Liverpool, I'm going. And you'll get millions for that. There'll be no transfer fee involved. So he's on a win-win, Mo.
Okay. What about you, JK?
I feel,
about our forward line now, you know, with Mo Bisson. But I'll give you my opinion. I think we must keep Mo because, as George said, He's one of the most fantastic players to throw on a red shirt. And
Absolutely.
people don't realise what he does. He's still our leading goal scorer. And how long has he been away? Just think about that for 1 minute. He's still our leading goal scorer. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, JK,
I just feel that if he's going to go on a free and someone is offering 225 million, which I don't think is true, but if they are willing to do that, I feel it's too much to say no to. You know, I feel it's only a year, so we're going to lose out on 225 million just to have Salah for another year. So you've got to work it out business wise, what's better for the club, what's better for everyone. But for me, Salah can stay until as long as he wants. He can retire at the club. You know, if he signs a new contract, it's no problem. He's not the fastest guy this season, but he's still the highest scored. While he was until the weekend, Haaland got 2 goals, but still getting goals. The Arsenal game showed me we still need Salah.
the Arsenal game showed me, yeah,
exactly.
you're right.
Yeah. And that's when I realised, we're playing well without him, no problem. But Salah was the guy we needed against Arsenal. So I don't want to hear no fans always moaning, we're better without Salah, this, that, and the other. I said, bro, we needed Salah in the Arsenal game. There was no quality, there was nothing. And Salah always does well against Arsenal.
Okay, what about you, Lee?
What about him staying or going?
Yeah. No, it's there. It's guys.
Oh, right, yeah. It's 7th place in finances, and there's other clubs who are in. Well, yeah, that's it, isn't it? With FSG, I mean, do we need to go over old ground about them? They're not the best owners for giving us money for transfers, but we've been successful. But it has to be said, without selling Coutinho, Klopp would never have won anything big in his time at Liverpool. Just ponder on that, ruminate on that. Without selling Felipe Coutinho, Jurgen Klopp would not have won a major trophy while he was at Liverpool. Not one. Not one would he have won in his time at Liverpool with FSG as owners if we didn't sell Philip Coutinho. Without buying Alisson and Virgil van Dijk, we don't win the Champions League and then the Premier League. And we only bought them because we sold Coutinho. We've gone out and bought Mane and Salah for 35 million. We spent 55 on Naby Keita, which was a waste of money. And we bought other players. They're not terrible owners. No one's saying they're terrible owners. We just want to be able to compete. And we haven't been poor old Klopp hasn't been able to compete with Pep. He was only able to by selling his prized asset. And it worked out well. But if that didn't happen, mate, Jurgen Klopp would have spent 8 years at Liverpool without winning a major trophy. What would he have? A League Cup and a FA Cup? Jurgen Klopp. He wouldn't have no Champions League or no Premier League, would he, without Alisson and Van Dijk? Let's have it right about FSG as owners. Let's have it right about FSG as owners. Without selling Philippe Coutinho, Jurgen Klopp would never have won a major trophy in 8 years at Liverpool, mate.
Well, don't you think that proves one point about the investments on the pitch without selling players? And I keep harping back. I'm sorry that I keep harping back to this. And when we signed Thiago, we never signed another midfielder for 4 solid years. And I was screaming out for 2 more midfielders. And I wanted them 2 years ago. And look what happened to us last season. Without it all, it just baffles me, that we have to sell players to bring in players, and that's that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion, and I don't know. Dorothy Langham says, I think it will depend on who comes in as manager and also other players that may move out or stay. And this is what we've been discussing, Dorothy. We just don't know at this moment in time. Will we buy players? See, when Jurgen came, we all know that he said to Dortmund, I will not go into your club to bring players out. And this could be the same with Xabi. He could sell Leverkusen. Don't worry, I won't be putting in any bids for any of the players. I'll leave them with you. He could easily say that. He could follow suit like what Jürgen said. But there are players, there's at least 3 players that play for Leverkusen who I'd take. I would take right away. And Brian says, I think the new manager will and can hit the ground running with this money. We need centre backs and one more in midfield, and up top he needs another striker up top. I think we're all right for strikers, in my opinion. I really do. So what do you think of that, boys?
I think we're okay for strikers, Frank. I do think we're okay for strikers. We've got 4 of the best strikers around, haven't we, at the moment? Plus Gakpo in reserve as well. But I think we will. I think we will sign players in the summer. I do. I think we need to. I think everybody said it, and I think we need left-sided centre back, and we need a defensive midfielder, definitely. And I think they will go out to get that. And Alonso might have an influence. He's been in the German league now for a while. He must have a lot of contacts over there. That team looked a bloody good team, Leverkusen, when they played Bayern Munich. I mean, they wasted them. They were a far better team. They had some lovely players there. So I think he'd be aiming to take 1 or 2 of them with him.
Well, as Neil Broderick says, he wanted Haaland, and he did want Haaland. Remember, for 17 million or something. And, that was all hushed up under the carpet, or brushed up under the
Didn't
carpet.
know that.
Yeah, 17 million.
If we'd have got Haaland, we'd have won the same amount of Premier Leagues as City. If we'd have got Haaland.
Yeah.
Imagine Haaland and Salah in the forward line.
Do you agree with me, George, that we would never have won anything under Jurgen Klopp if we didn't sell Phil Coutinho? Where was the trophy coming from, mate, without selling Coutinho?
Yeah, I'm not sure we wouldn't have won anything. We wouldn't have won a Champions League.
We won the League Cup and the FA Cup, but we wouldn't have got near the Premier League or Champions League without Van Dijk and Coutinho.
But don't forget, the Premier League, we won by about 20 points. That particular, when the COVID pandemic was on, we slaughtered everybody. So whoever played for us, we'd have won that. We'd have still won that, I think.
Just imagine that team without Van Dijk and Alisson, with Karius in goal, Lovren at centre-back, with Mata, and instead Coutinho in midfield. Do you think we'd have won the Champions League and the Premier League? With Karius
in goal,
Lovren.
Not with Karius in goal. He proved that, didn't he?
All right, then. Let's say we bought another goalie, like who was any good and cheap that we could have spent them. You know what I'm saying to you, mate? Do you know what I'm saying to you, George? Without Alisson and Van Dijk, those trophies were never coming. So Jurgen Klopp could conceivably have spent his whole time here winning only the League Cup and FA Cup. He's got 2 trophies, and he did well to snatch them away from Pep.
I think you've got a good point, Lee. And I'm being honest when I say this. Honestly, when I say this, that it's the lack of investment on the pitch by the owners. I don't care what anyone says. It's the lack. As you said, if we would have kept Phil Coutinho, if we'd have kept him, he was brilliant, Coutinho. You just look at Coutinho on YouTube playing for Liverpool. He was absolutely phenomenal. One of our best players. And yet, Klopp needed a goalkeeper. He loved Alisson right away. And he loved Virgil van Dijk. Now, just imagine, the owners would have said, well, yeah, go and buy them. There's the money. You know what I mean? They would have made that money back anyway. And this is what gets me about the lack of investment, if you know what I mean.
I agree, Frank. And, you're right there, Frank. You're right.
And as Drunk Vigo says, FSG shortchanged Klopp and the fan base. And I'm made up with that because it's not just Klopp, it's the fans, it's us that is shortchanged. And that's the point of the whole episodes of the owners, people say the owner, look what they've done for us. And look, it could have been a lot better. In my opinion, we could have won another Premiership and possibly another 2 Champions Leagues against Real Madrid.
Yeah.
We were just lacking that bit of quality that we needed. What I said about a midfielder.
Yeah, we lost the Premier League by a point twice, didn't we?
A point. I remember saying, I was on the radio, and I said at the time, I said, if we would have bought the midfielder, I forget what was it. I forget who it was. I said, if we would have bought a quality midfielder, and I always remember, I was up at the game, Tottenham at Anfield. Remember the 1-1 during that season when we got beat by? I said, just imagine that midfielder could have scored a goal. We could have beat them. We would have been champions now. And that's what I said. It's just that little bit of final tuning, for us to go on and do something. But it's been lack of it. And I'm talking about the lack of investment, if you get me drift. I don't know. I think that's a very good point what Drumfigo said, to be honest. I really do.
Yeah.
And Brian McGivern, Brian Headley, lads, have you covered Szoboszlai yet? I hope he isn't going to be another Kaiser Thiago. He has missed a good few already, but fingers crossed, Thiago. My dear God. What you thinking of there, George? About Szoboszlai, and is he prone to be injury prone?
Well, when he come in the team, he was like a fresh air, wasn't he? He was an absolute delight. I mean, he was covering the field like Gerrard used to do. Everybody thought, wow, what a player, scoring goals from 30 yards. He was doing it all, and then he started to look to me a little bit tired, a little bit withdrawn, and a bit pale. Lost a little bit pace. Now he's injured. So I just hope that he can get back to where he was when he come into the club, because he looked a really special player, and he is a special player. So I hope he can get back to doing what he did when he joined, because it's worrying. You see these injuries popping up all the time, and like Brian says,
we've got to steer clear. If we're going to I'll predict this. If we stay clear of injuries and we beat or even get a result against Man City when they're down here, I think we'll go on and win the league. I really do. But we've got to steer clear, especially our defence, especially Virgil, especially Canete. And, I'm not bothered about, no disrespect to Robertson, but no, there's Joe. There's Joe, left back. He'd do me. Semikas. Yeah. Semikas is a very good left back, and no one mentions him. And to me, he's a better crosser of a ball than Robertson. That's just my opinion. And he is a strong lad. He broke his collarbone, for God's sake. And he's back. He's back after breaking a collarbone. It's over. I remember getting a terrible bruise here, here. And it knocked me sick for weeks. Just the bruise alone, I got a bang in it. And, that lad broke it. His collarbone. And he's back. He's playing.
It's a bad one, what? Christ, this cough. You know what's done it to me, I think? My brother left some crappy vapes here about a year ago, and I've never had them. If I'm going to have a ciggy, I'll have a ciggy. Ash comes off it, and if you're going to have a ciggy, have a bloody ciggy. And I had these vapes, and I've had them a few times on the show. They taste foul, and they make you cough, mate. They're bloody horrible. I've slung it out. Did you see me before? I had, and I coughed, and I went, put it on there, and then I got it and slung it over on the couch, and just had a fag instead. Because I'm not having none of them again. It's made me cough. And I think these ciggies that are bought from the shop by the newsagents by the train station are jag. You know the way newsagents sometimes sell fake ciggies. because when I picked the bloody box up, the lid fell off instantly. The lid of it fell off instantly, and they taste like crap. But I'm usually, I don't smoke cigarettes normally. I only smoke them when I'm bevying. But I do like to have one sometimes when I'm nattering, just the odd time. Mate.
You don't talk much, though, to be honest, Lee.
It doesn't calm you down.
Yeah. When you said you were throwing that vape, I thought you were throwing Daryl's cat. I thought you picked Daryl's cat up.
I'm massively a cat person, massively. Although I do sorry.
Well, Anfield Ross says, evening all, bit late, and look at all those pints and scotches for you there, Lee, to cure your cough.
Yeah.
I'll have the whiskies, you can have the beer.
Cheers, mate. I can only drink lager now, and I don't drink much of it. I can't take it anymore, George. I'm too old for it now. For drinking very much. Let me put it that way. I can't drink very much, or I'm a mess.
Well, okay.
It can give you headaches.
You have to accept these facts of life as you get older. You cannot drink like you used to when you were younger. It is impossible for the human body to do it. Don't do it.
Can I digress?
Yes, of course, Frank.
Thank you. And it's Brian Edley. He says, look what we won with the Coutinho money. Just imagine if they had gave him another 150 million on top of that, out of their own pockets, we would have won loads more. They took glory from themselves. That's a good point.
Frank, you know how Jesus came to save the world? Klopp came the same way for FSG. He turned that 300 million into 5 billion. And he did it in a few years. There's no other guy who would have done that and that for me is the best. Klopp is the best business maker right there. What he's done for Liverpool, and he hasn't really won a lot, but he still made the club's value go from 300 million to 5 billion. And without Klopp, that won't happen.
Made them a fortune. Klopp's made them a literal fortune. An absolute fortune.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Sitting on a goal, man.
If I was FSG, I'd sell Conor Bradley and Quansah. I really would. I'm only joking, George. Your glasses stains up there.
I was doing a heart attack. Fucking broad. You got me back in broad green.
What was that? Well, Brian says, look what we would do. And he's right. He's right as well, you know what he says, Brian. And Redbird says the only negative with Klopp and Co is they run players into the ground. No wonder they have so many injuries. What do you think about that, George?
Yeah, it does train him very hard. You can see the high press. He's got that way of playing, hasn't he? They run at the man. As soon as they lose possession, you've got 2 or 3 Liverpool players chasing to get the ball back, which is the only way to play. Shankly played the same way. But it is hard. It is hard to keep it going, And if they're doing a similar sort of thing in training, you never know. They could be causing more injuries than they need to. Because these players are highly tuned athletes now, aren't they? They're like greyhounds, aren't they? Muscles are very highly tuned. It doesn't take much to pull a hamstring.
No, it doesn't. And that's what's happened to Szoboszlai in training. And as one of the comments said before, with the new management and the new medical team, we might see less injuries on the training pitch. I think that'll be a blessing. What do you think, JK?
Daryl, you were going to say?
I was just going to say, at the end of the day as well, you've had all season, you've had Szoboszlai, you've had McAllister playing completely out of position and not their positions they play in. As I mentioned, like McAllister was playing the 8 role for Brighton, scoring 10 goals a season. And then you go, Szoboszlai's a natural winger, been doing all the donkey work, all the chasing back, all the leg room. That's got to change in a way next season. We can't have them two doing that next season.
No.
For me.
I think Lee's gone to looking for that vape he threw across the room.
I think he's gone for a poo, Frank.
Oh, God, I've changed the subject. Absolutely
Go
not.
for a commercial break.
Yeah, but what Daryl was saying about McAllister and Szoboszlai is that they're sort of flair players, and they've come to Liverpool now, and they've put a shift in those two guys. You know, they haven't really hit the heights with the goals and the assists, for example, but work rate, them two have put a shift in, and I think it's a bit of a culture shock for Szoboszlai. He's used to like scoring goals, getting forward, and that's what he did for Leipzig. But at Liverpool, he's been asked to do a job what I think he should be able to do anyway. Because if you're a footballer, you should be able to do that. And I think with the way good medical teams have their things that they can work with, machines, this, that, and the other, they can work out a regime where the players stay fit. I'm really disappointed with Klopp's regime, the medical side of it. That is the only side I'm really disappointed in. I'm thinking Klopp he needed to talk to someone and say, why are our players keep on getting injured? Like, why hasn't it been discussed, you know?
No, I think you're right there. But we do, don't we? We mention it all the time about these bloody injuries, not on the field.
Yeah.
But it's on the training ground. And all of a sudden, one of our star players is injured. It's always a star player who's injured.
Yeah.
And,
This is the first injury for Salah, though. I've never really remembered Salah being injured. And he was away with AFCON. So he weren't with us at the time. So it's been amazing, Salah, with us, staying fit with us. Yeah.
Well, Redbird says fans go on about Thiago's legacy. He ain't got no Liverpool legacy. Thiago lovers must keep it real. What has Thiago done for Liverpool?
Exactly.
Not enough, in my opinion. What about? Would you go along with that, Darryl?
100%. You know my intake on the Thiago thing. You know what? Can you remember what Albert Moreno said in one of the finals of Villarreal? Get out! Get out!
Yeah, I remember that,
yeah.
What Bert Moreno said that about Thiago, that he should get out?
No, he said it about...
No. He said it about somebody else, didn't he?
When Villarreal won the cup final and he was going to Man United. Man United. Get out! Get out!
Oh, right.
I'm saying that about Thiago. He's got to go. I fed up with his name.
Yeah, that's when you were missing there, Lee. Lee's gone to the corner shop for proper ciggies.
I'm sure that them fake ones that do go about in them type of shops, mate, them fake ones made me cough worse than the bloody vape.
Well, anyway, Brian Headley says, having said all that, lads, we are in a title race and it feels class. We will beat City at Anfield, I feel personally, but Saturday night's game, the defence needs back to the test. Bradley doesn't play at right back. There's going to be trouble.
Saturday lunchtime.
Yeah, but no, okay, whether it is or not. What do you think of that particular comment, George?
I think I've said that we'll beat City, I think, at Anfield. Back us against anybody. We've got a good record against Man City at Anfield, but we will have to be tight. We'll have to be tighter than we were against Burnley, definitely. We can't allow people like Haaland and Foden to drift through the middle with chances like we gave on Saturday. But I think if the crowd are up for it and the atmosphere will be absolutely electric, and we've done it in the past, I'm sure we can do it again. The other one as well, we've got a big game against Everton at Goodison, and don't underestimate that, because we're a far better team, miles ahead of them, and then everything says you should beat them, and we will. But it's not going to be an easy game. We'll have to be up for that one as well, because derbies are very hard to, how many derbies have been like hard-fought draws? So we need to be on our merits there at Goodison, I think, as well. Those are two big games. Yeah, that's what I
It's
mean.
going to be physical.
Very big
It's
games.
going
City and
to
Everton.
be a lot of rough tackles and a lot of underhanded nonsense, like, to try and
Yeah,
stop
because they're
us. But,
fighting
you
for
know,
survival,
they've
aren't
got
they?
to do that. I expect them to do that, and they should do that to try and stay in the league. They've got to try and stop us. They will try and stop us. But it's going to be hard. It will be a tough game, that. Goodison, that's no gimme, that, like, no gimme.
No, because they'll be up for it. They're
to,
fighting relegation, and
and we've
they
got to go
will
to
be
the,
up for it. That shows that- Sorry?
sorry, and I said, and also we've got to go to the theatre of shit as well.
Yeah,
Ain't gonna
man.
be-
Oh, well, we've got a good record against them, haven't we?
Yeah, they're on form at the moment.
7-0, 5-0.
Well, JK, what do you think that, if Bradley doesn't play, this is what Brian Headley says, if Bradley doesn't play at right back, there could be trouble. What do you think?
I just feel that the Trent negative vibes coming from the Trent topic. I think I'm just happy we've got two decent right backs. When one can't play, the other one's good. The young lad's only played 5 games for us, But what he's showing us that he's got fight in him. He knows how to play football. He's got a goal in him, assists. But I don't want to get into a debate where I'm comparing him to Trent. So for me, Trent for me is the world's best right back. So I have no problem with Trent playing right back, but I want him to be fit to play right back. I don't want him to have an issue with his knee and he's playing, I think Bradley would have played that Arsenal game if he didn't have that bad news off the field. So I just feel that we've got 2 right backs at the club, plus Ramsey's there as well.
Yeah, the thing is as well, it's very rare. It's like Mo Salah. Mo Salah never gets injured, ever. Not in all the time he's been at Anfield. I've never seen that lad get injured once. I've always said that he's the most super fit athlete in the Premiership, in Europe, to be honest. Never gets injured. And Arthur Schofield, no offence, Lee, why not try bananas? Only £1 for a bunch of 10.
Does he mean where you smoke the banana skins or something? That palaver? Or does he mean bananas might fix me cough or something? I've not heard of that one. I've not heard of that, Jake, like, bananas fixing me cough.
Well, Everton are struggling, but they need points, says Dorothy Langman. And she's so right. She is so right about. I'm going to ask you, George, before we go, because I know you won't be. Will you be with us on Thursday, by the way?
No, I won't be with us on Thursday, Frank. No, I'll have to give it a miss Thursday.
All right, then. I hope you don't mind.
That's all right. I'm sorry about it.
No. Forget Ali, right? Forget him. You know that he's going to be in goal. Right, you get over the flu and all this. Right, who's your back 4?
Well, back 4 is going to be. I don't think Trent will play because his knee's obviously hurting him. I mean, he went off at half time and he's strapped up a bit, so I think he'll rest him anyway. So I think if Bradley's got his head together after the sad loss of his dad, then I think he'll play Conor Bradley right back. Konate hopefully should be fit. I'd have Konate, Van Dijk, and I would have Robbo, a left back. I like Robertson. I know you'd rather have Gomez, and I wouldn't have any problem with Gomez.
No, I
My first choice would
understand
be
that.
Robbo.
Yeah, okay.
Because I look back at what he's achieved at Liverpool, Robertson, and we mustn't forget again, along with Trent, he's one of the top providers of goals from defence in the league. And
Yes.
he's to me, he's a world class fullback, and he's captain of Scotland, so I'm a bit biased. But I mean, I would have Robbo left back, Bradley right back, Konate and Virgil in the middle of the back 4.
Well, that's a sound back 4. So what about your midfield, which is more a bit of a
midfield? About Endo, McAllister, and Jones.
Okay.
That would be my midfield.
And
up front, I would have. I'm presuming Salah won't be fit, although he's training again. You need a week or two to get himself back to match fitness, probably. So I would say the same three that played on Saturday, which is Jota, Nunes, and the three of them who played Saturday. Diaz, Jota, Nunes, and Diaz.
That's a very
That'd be my
fine forward. Nunes has to play. Nunes has to
Oh
play.
yes, yeah.
And against Arsenal, I think Klopp made a dreadful mistake by not playing him from the start. That was a dreadful mistake, though. And Redbird says, I genuinely think Salah will stay. The man loves breaking records and he's still got time to break more at Liverpool. I think that's a very good
point.
I'm getting a feeling that he might stay, you know, as much as the money would do us good and we could spend it. I'm getting a feeling that he might stay for this last year, but it all depends on the offer that comes in and how he feels about Jurgen and the rest of the staff leaving and having a whole new coaching staff around him. If he thinks he doesn't want to be here for that, then good luck to him. He can go wherever he wants. I don't see him wanting to play in Saudi. You made me laugh calling it a rubbish league before. But he's playing in front of 10 men and a dog, mate. You left the dog out when you said 10 men. You left the dog out, George, which was grossly unfair of you on the Saudi Premier League. There's a dog in attendance at many games. I don't know if it's the same dog or they get a different one in for different games, like. But they do, honest to God, I tell you. There's a taboo in Islamic countries about dogs as well. I was surprised he let one in the ground.
So what about Carroll's?
Yeah, bigger crowds in the Isingari League. Bigger crowds in the Isingari League in Lefton Park.
I've got a mattress in the background.
I think it's disrespectful to Mo Salah to say that he wants to go there now.
Do you know what I think, Frank?
Go on.
I think Mo will sign a new deal. I think he'll stay.
I do.
I don't think he's going to want to play in front. He's not going to want to play in front of 900 fans a week.
Tell me one thing, Dal.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing, mate. Do you sleep on the wall?
Yeah. I'm Spider-Man, baby.
Yeah, we know.
He looks around. He looks around.
Keep standing up. Keep standing up.
Oh,
Spider-Man.
I'm going to go through Brian Headley's thing here. He says, Gomez, Verge, Quansard, Robbo. That's what he wants.
I think I annoyed Jaden.
Is Connor has he finished his ban or what?
He's back now.
One game.
Match ban. He's fit. He's
Carlyle
okay.
will play. Carlyle will play.
Okay. If Bradley doesn't play, that's what he's saying. If Bradley Gomez there. Front three, Nunes, Diaz, Scott. That's it.
Come on, Brian. I'm up for the fight.
And Mark Simon's all the way from Gibraltar, by the way. He's older on to Gibraltar, you know, for the Commonwealth, for the English crown or the British crown. He's older on to it. That's why he's there. I want Crave from Napoli and Diamandi from Lisbon, but this will only happen if Mo goes.
If Mo goes, it's Mo's decision, and if Frank, it's his
prerogative. That's what Mark says. That's what he says. I like that Crabber, by the way, because I watch Napoli and Inter, to be honest.
And they're not doing very well this season either.
No. And Redbird says the dog was for a snack at the end of the match. Dorothy says, "Where you killed George? That'll surprise him."
It will surprise him, Dorothy. I can tell you that, mate. It will.
Just make sure you wear pants, George.
I have been known to wear the kilt.
What?
Special
Bare naked
occasions.
underneath?
No.
I think
you draw the line there. I'm an Anglified Scotsman, Darren. I've been in England too long.
You know where I lived? I lived in the tenements, and when Scotland played Wales, right, Kenny scored in the Anfield it was, and all
I was there.
They all had to pass where we lived, our tennies, the gardens, and they were all walking along, all the Scottish lads all walking up to Anfield, and they was all girl, Liverpool girls, they were all shouting over because they were wearing the kilts. And like that, they just started doing a little jig, the lads, they were good humoured, and they lifted the kilts up, and the girls were going, oh! I think they followed them. I think they followed the Scottish fans, I go with them. But it was so funny, it was really good.
That was Scotland against Wales. Scotland against Wales, Frank, that wasn't it? Yeah, Scotland versus Wales in the World Cup qualifier.
Yeah. Joe Jordan. I always remember Joe Jordan.
Yeah.
Absolutely
fantastic
brilliant.
atmosphere.
I'm old enough to remember Joe Jordan.
He handled the ball.
Yeah,
he put it in with his hands, didn't he?
Yeah.
He put it in with his hands.
Didn't he ever fight with Gattuso?
Kenny was playing. Kenny was playing that day, wasn't he?
Yeah, I know. Kenny scored, didn't he?
Yeah, Kenny scored in Donmasson. I mean, that was a hell of an atmosphere. The cup was full of Scots.
Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant.
I think I'm right in saying Joe Jordan played for Man U, where I had him in me Panini sticker album in like 1982 or something, or 1981 when I was about 8 or 9. I was about 8 or 9 in 1981, 1982. I had the sticker album, and I think Joe Jordan was Man U then, and his big smile with the toothless smile. I was like,
that's right.
No teeth. Yeah.
I'm collecting this season's book.
Well, what about this, Arthur Schofield, lads? Unfortunately, we are Liverpool, and no matter how good or bad we play, the problem, I think, is the lack of experience in decision making by match officials leaves a lot to be said. And I think he's spot on there.
Yeah.
And it is, we try to ignore the match officials and, what we talk about, and we just try to concentrate on Liverpool. But that's always been a problem with match officials, because you only have to look at the Spurs game. You only have to look at that. That was shocking, that. And, people say we were robbed. No, we weren't. We were cheated.
Cheated, yeah.
There's a big difference between robbed and cheated. And we were cheated out of that by match officials.
Have you seen the official Saturday?
No.
Michael Oliver's referee.
I don't mind Michael Oliver. I think he's one of the best. Well, he is the best.
On VAR.
Yeah, we've got another bad one. David Coots on VAR again.
Not him again.
Yeah.
Who's again? I hate him.
Yeah.
Can I just say, God, I've bloody gone and forgotten what was I going to say then? You saying Coots has made me forget. Sorry. You saying Coots made me. Well, it's something good to say then. It was good. Oh, bloody hell. Oh yeah, there's too many officials in my eyes with a long-standing inherent dislike and bias towards Liverpool because of the team the area they come from, or growing up, the age they are. They just don't like Liverpool, and it comes out when they're officiating. I don't think I'm paranoid. I think I'm right about a lot of officials having a long-standing inherent bias against our club, and it comes out sometimes in decision making. What do you think, Francis?
Are you asking me?
I am asking you.
I'm telling you. I've been looking at these chats here. I'm sorry, I wasn't there. I know that I wasn't. Say that again. What did you say? I'm sorry.
I said too many officials, whether they be referees, linesmen, or VAR officials, in my eyes, have a long-standing inherent bias against Liverpool as a football club, and probably some of them don't even like Scousers very much, and it comes out sometimes in decisions. They can't help being biased against us, some of them.
Well,
T&E is a prime example, and there's others. Need I go on? Really?
No, I think you're right, and there is biasness towards us. But when you mentioned Tierney there, he was the match official for the Chelsea game, and we got away with it.
Yes,
two
it was on his
penalties
best
they should have had.
behaviour.
Brilliant for Liverpool that night. And if anyone was saying anything, like say like a Chelsea supporter or a Scunthorpe supporter or Hartlepool supporter, they would have just turned around and said that he was slanting towards Liverpool there and giving
Mate, I saw through that in a heartbeat, Frank. He's had a shocking performance against us last time out. He come to Anfield, knew it was on telly, a big game, and he gave us a few decisions. That's all he done. So what, like? So
no,
what?
I don't have a go at me.
I'm not. No, that wasn't aimed at you.
That could be weak. That could be weak refereeing, Lee. That could be weak referee if he's trying to curry favour with the Liverpool crowd because he's refereeing at Anfield when he's got a reputation of going against us. And as you say, it gives us a few decisions against Chelsea. I mean, he should be down the middle anyway, whoever he's refereeing, whether it's Liverpool, Chelsea, or anybody else. Look at the Arsenal game, that penalty in the penalty box against Arsenal at Anfield.
Yeah.
That was a blatant penalty. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He bounced the ball with his hand.
Yeah.
And VAR said he fell on the ball.
Yeah.
No, VAR said he was moving his arm away from the ball. He was moving his arm to make his body smaller. But Gallagher said on Ref Watch he was moving his arm towards the ball, so that sort of makes the excuse. It renders the excuse totally null and void.
He scooped it away.
Who's that on the screen? Is that the abominable snowman? Who's that?
The abominable snowman here.
Frank.
What?
Frank, you've got an intruder.
Oh, God, blimey. That's unbelievable, But anyway, I was looking at a message there. Timothy Langman, there's been so many poor decisions by match officials which cost us dear. And absolutely.
You are so right, Dorothy. You are so right.
Yes,
you really
you're
are.
so right there. And Jean Grey Mark 2. Now she's Jean Grey Mark 1 for us. Good old Jean.
Hi, Jean.
And she says, Frank Carlyle, great evening, my dear Frank. Panel and chat, I pray you are all well, 100%. Loads of prayers, a big heart, and everything else. Thank you, Jean. Thank you so much, and thanks for coming back to us. Thank you so much. And Dorothy says, I'm more concerned in the lack of competence of the officials, the debacle of the indecision, knowingly being unable to change the decision. And that's right, that. She's so right. Absolutely, drunk beagle. We might be boomers, but we are young at heart.
I'm definitely a boomer.
Am I a boomer? Yeah, am I a boomer?
No, you're not quite a boomer, Jack. I'm a boomer.
I'm a boomer.
Well, anyway.
I'm not quite a boomer.
Bungle and zippy. Well, anyway, look, lads, I've got to finish. I've got a splitting headache. And, if you're still out there, please subscribe and press the likes. Get the algorithm out there because, as I said, have you got any last words, JK? Is JK there?
Last words?
Yes.
Yeah. You got any last words? Listen, boys, as well.
Mm-hmm.
JK and Lee, you listening?
Mm-hmm.
I'm having the film and football review on Friday.
Now, are you sure about this? Definitely.
Yeah, I am. Listen, we've got the pods on Thursday, right? Thursday evening, usual time. But I've got a very important talk over the water, and I'm getting picked up, to go over there and brought back again. So I've got this talk to do. So I won't be in the morning, obviously, because I'm getting picked up at 11 o'clock.
Okay, mate.
So I can't have it in the morning, can't have it in the evening. I'll be all most of the afternoon. I'll be doing this talk because it's to a session of people, and also it only leaves Friday morning.
Okay, Sam, that's no problem.
Have you got no problem with that, JK?
I'm all good. That's okay, Friday. Lee?
Yes, mate.
10:30. Yeah, you okay with that?
Yep.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. There's a couple of... Mark Simon says, Batatic is back in training.
Yeah, read that.
What do you think of that, George?
Yeah, I read that in the paper, I think, this morning or yesterday, that he's back in training. And they're still going on about the fact that he's growing too quickly and it's caused him problems with his growing. And next season he'll be 100%. But I'd like to see the lad back before the end of the season. He's been a big loss, I think, for us because he was looking really good, wasn't he, before this all started? It's been such a
that's
shame.
another young lad, isn't it? That's another young lad. You've got Quansah, we've got Bradley, we've got Tyler Morton, we've got young Ben Doak. These are all great players. They're not just like...
McConnell, which is McConnell. He came on, didn't he? McConnell.
Brilliant, McConnell.
Absolutely, and brilliant. There's another one as well.
Absolutely brilliant, that lad. Absolutely.
I've been watching the young lads on the old LFC TV. Like, we've got some great young talents.
Yeah, that Dan's looks good. Dan's. It's really
good. As Drunk says, our roster is deep, and he's so right. It is deep, and it's deep with young lads. Young up and coming lads. Some of them have made it already. Conor Bradley, Quansah, they've already made it, and younger Elliott. But as I keep saying, Elliott's better coming off the bench, and I don't know why he can't keep it up for when he starts. He's not the same player. But when he comes off the bench, he's raring to go. And boy, does he go. Don't forget 2 assists when he came on against Burnley. Absolutely brilliant. And Jane says, have a great night, everyone. You'll never walk alone. Thank you, Jane.
Thanks, Jane.
Mark Simon, good night from sunny Gibraltar. That's not bad, is it?
Hi, Mark.
That's not bad.
Okay, Devil.
Here's Mark.
Arthur Schofield, great show, fellas. Look after yourselves and better halves. Good night, all. Isn't that lovely? And it's just for me to say to George, thank you so much.
Greg, I might be able to come in Thursday halfway through, if that's all right. On Thursday night.
Yeah, will you?
Maybe about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, that's no problem. Oh, that's
if there's enough room, yeah, might do that, yeah.
No, there'll only be there'll be Darryl, Lee, JK, and yourself. That's all.
Oh, great.
Is that fair enough with you?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Right. I'm really made up to hear that, George. I really am, because you're the expert.
He's the lost boy.
X as in has been.
No.
He's the Peter Pan lost boy.
Great to see you. Great to see you guys. Great to see you.
And you, mate. And you.
Great to see you, girls.
See you on Thursday. I'll get in the half
time. See you
time.
on Thursday, George, 9 o'clock. Thank you so much.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Daryl. Sleep well on the old mattress there. I hope you get on that mattress.
Yeah, he hangs on the wall. That's he sleeps on the wall. That's don't
Good night.
believe it. And our new
Good
South
night.
Romanian friends, he says, good evening and good night at the same time, it seems. Good evening and good night, and we're all leaving them. Oh, that's lovely. And Dorothy says, night, Frank and lads. Try to drop by Thursday, maybe Friday AM. There is to a win for the next game, says Dorothy. Thank you.
Night,
Thank
Dorothy.
you so much. And that's for you, that, Daryl. He sleeps standing. Boys, thank you. Love
Thank
you
you,
all.
Frank.
It's been
Take
great
care.
tonight. Thank you, JK.
Thank you,
By the
bro.
way, JK's our moderator. He's our new moderator. So you've got to be careful what you say, or you'll get banned.
Nah, I won't do that.
George never stops swearing, does he? He's always swearing his head, George. No, he's not. Only kidding. Anyway, thanks, Daryl.
Don't forget to ask for that scene, Frank.
No, I will. Don't worry about that.
Cheers, Frank.
Also, Lee, thanks very much, mate.
You're welcome.
See you on
Take care, Lee.
Thursday.
Take care, Daryl.
Will do.
Love you, JK.
See
Take
you on
care.
Thursday,
You, bro.
Daryl. And JK, thank you so much.
Thank you, bro.
But listen, don't forget Friday morning, 10:30
Mhm.
with the TV and film show. Okay?
No problem.
Yeah.
Take care.
I'm leaving us all now. I'm absolutely shattered.
Have a cup of tea,
You're a
bro.
man in demand, Frank. You're in demand, aren't you, mate?
I'm getting my hair cut tomorrow.
Ooh.
I'm getting my hair cut, and there's a lovely
Number one,
Jane.
Frank, yeah?
Thanks,
Sorry?
Jake.
Gonna have it like mine, yeah, number one.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to get it right off. Right off. So I want to be in disguise, you see. I hope
Like
the picture's all right as well, because this is mad. Jason says he's going to fix it after the show, you know, because I can't be having this. I was like this last night. See, now, see. Now my hand's up there. 1, 2, 3. And it goes down there. See, it's mad. Anyway, thanks, lads. Thank
Take
you,
care, bro.
Jim. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Gene.
much.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Jake.
Jake.
Take it easy,
Cheers,
guys.
Daryl.
Take
Okay,
Thanks,
I'll
Gene.
see you soon. Thank you, Jean Gray. Good night, Jean Gray, Mark 1. She's my Mark 1. She's a lovely girl. And I'll see you all Thursday. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.